Alright, what is good, YouTube? We are back with another video, and today is the 5th of March. It's a Thursday. We're gonna jump right into it. I did mess up my recording a little bit only because I had my controller plugged in, so I think it did take off audio on the last recording I made, but same thing as always. We just jump into the charts, we start journaling, we get everything worked out, what we want to see happen. So, just a quick little rundown. SMT higher time frame, buy side was taken. ES fails to take out buy side, puts in an SMT, leaving this external buy side level still open. And then we have new buy side right there and right here as well. And then we do put in a 30-minute change in the state of delivery right there. And then, want to see if we want to continue to seek lower after that or not. Fair value gaps are opening up. 30-minute is probably going to open up by the time market opens. So probably, dig into, want to see if we want to get lower out of that. We are in a 15-minute, bullish. So that is a possibility to hold price, send it back higher up to buy side. So everything just, like I said, I'm super, super patient today. I'm in no rush to trade. Not really, trying to jump anything. Think I see something that I don't see, along with ES. We have a beautiful 1 hour BPR right there, resting with data highs. And we are inside of a 15, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, right there. As well as this higher time frame, just bigger 30-minute that we already were in. So we're gonna see if the market wants to continue to hold this 30-minute, possibly send price back up higher. We know we're in an area to possibly reverse. Back at this change. Pull back to this change. Yeah, so not really gonna, I don't really have much to say. I already said it a lot in that other recording, but today is just gonna be a super, super patient day. We're trying to just gain, that consistency, So whether that's consistency in just watching, consistency in, taking very nice losses, but I'm coming into today taking, if I see my setup, I'm only taking one trade. I'm only going to give myself one stab at the market, and I'm simply just going to go from there. I see no point to continue on, to overtrade, make extra trades. In my eyes, there's no point. You should be waiting for your A plus, A plus, A plus setup. Like it should be so perfectly clear that you see it, and then you're allowed to take it. Because your bias is so, it's narrowed down because price action. There should be no reason you're taking, 5, 6 trades before you get to your bias, and then you understand something. And that's something I'm super, super, just really working on. So. 15-minute change, 30-minute change gets put in, should start seeing legs lower. This could just be a change, to just try and tap in because we already pulled back to it to tap into this 15-minute and then, possibly run that. So one thing I do want to see here is if we open up a 30-minute, right, tap inside of it, what do we do when we're trying to get inside of it? Are we trying to, push aggressive, possibly take out data highs, get up here, and then, hunt some of these buy side levels? Like, is that possibly, something that could happen? Or are we, just trying to put in the 30-minute just to tap it, fill it, and then continue to sell off lower? So we're going to always remember we have this buy side already swept and taken, right? And then boom, SMT, we already failed to, push higher up to these highs after respecting a 4 hour, and then we already put back in a 30-minute change. So super clear. I got my understanding for what I want to see at the moment, and honestly, I'm just gonna, like I said, I'm gonna let price action decide whether I take a trade or not. My fault. And it's just gonna be me, my thoughts, some normal, coffee shop music, just on low. We're just gonna chill. So really just gonna sit back and just watch. So like one thing I've came across in my trading is like overanalyzing. Overanalyzing is something that you know it kills traders sometimes because you're trying to see something at that point. You're just trying to see something. And majority of the time, overanalyzing just it hurts you. It harms you. So still holding this 30-minute gap. I'll leave it like that. And then boom, we also know we have this overlap to the 15-minute. So we're in an area to reject right now. Market is coming to open about 2 minutes. Pull back to this change in the state a couple of times. We're not necessarily seeing the displacement we'd want to see in this position. After we change, 2 times the pull back, and we're just kind of playing around in this little fair value gap, for about 15 minutes, on end. So that is something I'm seeing at the moment. Want to see what price does when we open up. So boom, this 30-minute is gonna open. I'm gonna mark it out just a different color. So we know we have it overlapping. 30-minute is opening right here. Again, I just want to see what market wants to do on the open of this. And I will zoom down now. We would just want to manipulate into it. We want to run it. A lot of possibilities here. So pull back to the change again. We take out these highs to the left of us. We fail to take them out on ES. So we're gonna see what happens here. Do we want to get lower? Like I said, do we want to push for data highs inside of this 1 hour possibly, or do we want to continue to sell back off? So nothing for me happened yet. We took out this high. We know we have an SMT already, but I want to see if data highs want to be the drill too before I go short, or if I want to take a short in any situation here. Would also need an internal high ran. So right here, we're just gonna play it patient. 1 minute into the open, we haven't had nothing swept out of the market yet. We're just gonna be patient. So we know what the market has to do in order for us to even, be short. So we're not going to try and jump anything early. Now we have a new high in place along with the highs right above us. So I want to see what happens. New high is taken. Like I said, we want to see that highs ran. It's more significant than just, these little internal highs to the left. Bam, right there, we have now data highs are taken out. Bam, right there, data highs are taken. So this still is up candle. I want to see if this gap wants to hold. This gap doesn't hold and we possibly put a change in here. I could see back lower if, we want to get through this gap, change in the state. We know we have an SMT because data highs are not taken on ES. So we're going to look for that model on ES as well, realizing ES is the lagging index, but we just want to see what happens here. So now data highs get taken, right? We know we're going to have a new high that gets put in soon. So we're just going to wait. We're inside of this 1 hour. We're going to jump back up to the 1 minute right here. We're not going to zoom down too early. So scratch that there. Will not be there anymore. If we're going to do it, we'll do it here. The new high gets taken internal. We get through this gap. But I'm only taking this if we put in a clear change, knowing we have an SMT. Now, this liquidity has been taken to the left too, so it's a bit more clear. Again, we can easily push for these highs, as well. So sit back, be patient. We are in this BPR as well on NQ. Looks like data highs are going to get taken as well on ES, so no more SMT in the market, but we know buy side is swept. ES is now inside of this range too, so still is an up candle right there. So we're just gonna see, where the market wants to hunt for. If it wants to actually hunt for, these buy side levels above us, or if we're just gonna, play around. Got a buy side level here as well, and then up there. So we know we have a lot of buy side levels up here. But we're going to see if the market does want to put in a clean change on the 30-second. We get through this, 5 minute, 30 minute. Not really looking at that anymore. I'm going to get rid of that. And here. we're a little bit more focused on this. So yeah, you know, we put in a 30-minute change. Don't do nothing out of it. Get rid of that. We respect. Take the low inside of this gap. Here as well, right there. Bam. And now we're starting to see higher. So that's all we got for right now. No clear model, lower time frame. We'll stay here because we have a gap there. Yeah, it'll stay right here for now. Looks like ES is starting to respect this 1 hour, possibly. And then we know we have this gap here. We're a lot closer to buy side on NQ right here. So we take sell side inside of a gap right there. Bam. We should start to displace out of it. So we're gonna see if, you know, 30-minute change gets put in. If no 30-minute change gets put in, or, you know, nothing like necessarily clear, 15-minute change possibly, you know, most likely is gonna get put in. But right here, change is getting put in. Internal high gets ran, but we're just gonna keep on watching. If we wanna run this gap too. Put a change in down here. Happened super early up here. We're not really trying to jump the gun. You know, the market can fill and then possibly want to take out, you know, this internal high once more. You know, anything in this position is, you know, anything is possible. So we're looking for, you know, clean displacement back into the range, knowing like, you know, we're gonna fill back into a 3, you know, a 2-minute to show us that we're gonna really go lower. So I also want to see, you know, do we want to get through this 1 minute too? You know, if this 1 minute holds alone, then boom, the whole trade's invalidated and we're gonna run back up higher. Simple as that. So it looks like we're starting to get through it. If we put in that 30-second change, I can possibly, you know, feel confident in taking a short here. We put it in on ES, just gonna wait for NQ to pick up. Data high is taken, boom, internal high taken. It's clean, but we're just gonna wait. Fill these 15 seconds. If we are bearish, these should hold. If we're bullish, we're gonna run right through. So nothing's really happening higher time frame. We just fill a 2-minute. if we change the state out of this to the upside right here, and want to get a pullback to it, possibly, it's a clean long too. I'm gonna buy 3 here, throw my stop down here. I'm gonna target buy side this position. Respecting this 2-minute, and these should hold in this position if we want to start seeking lower and put this change in, but we fail. So we take out this internal high to the left. I will go break even. But we pull right back to the change. I'm going to add 2 more to this contract. So I'm risking 253 here. And, it's a confident long. Stop loss is right there. Super confident long. We put that 30-second change in too. We're pulling back to it. Stop loss is beneath the imbalances. And it's inside of the 2-minute we continue to respect. So we're just watching here. We're looking for that continuation higher to then take out, buy side liquidity. Break evens right there. So looks like we're probably going to get stopped here. So we do get stopped here. And, sometimes that is going to happen. If we want to continue to put this change in, there's a possibility I could go short here if we do confirm this change. But, we filled in a 2, we respected it. We put in a change back up to the upside. So, this gap should hold here if we want to continue to go lower. But, that was a really super clean long, confident long. We know we had buy side still resting above us, but if we don't want to take out that level, we're going to continue to respect, then we're possibly going to seek lower. And that looks like kind of what we're doing here, but like I said, I'm just going to be patient. I said I'm going to take 1 trade, 1 stab, but if it's clear and it's confident, there's a possibility I can take it. Or we'll just walk away, little loss, call it there. So we're starting to get that change getting put in. We're going to wait for a full close. Looks like it is going to close. We saw 3 here. 2-minute gets ran. Stop's going to go above the 2-minute inverse. Pull back to it. We're just going to continue to seek lower out of this. This is the final trade on the day. Just going to take this trade off. Don't really see the point in taking it. I know we put in a 30-second change. We have everything. We are in equilibrium of this range. So it's just not confident. It's really not the stab. I think that we're not being offered the best, stab in this position. I don't think. So like 2-minute gets inversed. Cool. We change in the state. We have everything that, we want, but just how price action is looking and where we're at, what we're offering, I'm still like a little like and just being is not enough for this trade, so I can say that confidently. We are in that 5 minute and we just happened discount, so like longs here are a bit more of the draw, in my opinion. So if we want to go long here and we get a long opportunity, that's the only other trade I'd take. De-risk though a little bit. So if we put in a change up here, then I will take a long up back up to buy side. But that's going to be the only other trade I will take in this position. So, nothing's clear, nothing's clear. But we do put a change in again. Pull back to it on the 30-second. That's kind of what I was like, about. We tapped in the discount. So I'm going to leave my stop right there. We're going to be targeting buy side and then external buy side as well. So we're targeting this buy side up here, right here is a break even point. I want to see if we want to displace, open up, a 1 minute in favor too, but we did take a 1 minute, put a 1 minute change in here, so possible pullbacks, possible, add. Can you go break even here to take this high? Yes, puts in that 1 minute change too. It's kind of why I was about the short, just because I realized, we're in a higher time frame, like a 5 minute PD array, and the possibility, for us to then continue, back lower through that after what we did, it makes me just feel like we're seeking buy side. So looking for that break even mark to get hit. Looks like it's about to get met right there. And here, we're gonna take off a limit sell order too. I'm just gonna let this trade rock out though. I'm not gonna go break even right at this internal low. Just not that soon, because I'm gonna go break even if this wants to get met. We have a 1 minute fair value gap we could tap back into, change that possibly wants to get met. So just gonna let it rock here. And if this is the move that we'd want to seek lower off of, and fully take out all of this and then get lower, then I'll know and I'll be stopped out, and that'll be the day. So, but if we want to get higher out of this, then we will. Tap the change, tap it again. We're inside of this 1 minute. We are inside of this 1 hour too. If we want to run it, we're gonna run it here. Adding 1 contract there. And we're just gonna hold this trade. Again, once this gets met, if it does, I'm gonna go break even. Looking for, all the PD areas in favor to hold. Would like to see this hold and we displace out of it. If we run it in this situation, then we're kind of like, all right, well, we're towards buy side. This should hold if we want to, get that last leg higher. So just gonna watch. If it doesn't. So that's what it looks like. Fill in lower, and we continue. To show legs higher, but stop right beneath the 1 minute. Just tighten it up a bit. But this, in my opinion, is a beautiful long. I'm gonna screenshot that now just to have for later. I'm gonna go back and screenshot the other longs that I took. The short, the reason why I closed out of the short. I kind of had my buy set once I seen price come back up into this, equilibrium, and then all it was to fill a 5 minute. Once I seen that, I told myself I don't want to see nothing else than higher, meaning like we changing the state here. So if we wanted to continue go lower, I would have called it there. But the reason why I didn't is because just based upon where we're at, we're in a 5 minute, fair value gap. And if we want to really, really run that, we're supposed to change down here, and I'm seeking something up here. Like I'm looking for a short up here, and the price action just isn't aligning with it. And I understood that. So, sitting with that is something that, you have to be able to just like accept sometimes. So it's something I had to fully just accept. Like I had to trade on. If I leave it on and I lose, and I'm iffy, then that's on me. And I'm gonna be the one that has to feel that, so I had to personally, just face that. This is where I'm gonna close out. It's an unconfident trade. I feel like I'm putting it on for no reason. This obviously this long right here, super confident in whatever happens here, it happens. I'm not really like just not really worried about it anymore, I personally feel like this is the long, that we're gonna, then reach buy side with and external buy side. And like I said, once this gets met, I'll be break even and we'll be able to just, have a risk-free trade. But I felt like this break even's too soon. And if I would have been break even, stopped. So that's why it's just a tighter risk type of trade. Once, this 1 hour closes, I'll be able to then move it up a little bit tighter to the 1 hour. But for now, we're just gonna let it rock. We're looking for, these 15-minute highs to get swept. So in about 5 minutes, the 1 hour candle will close and that 1 hour should be invalidated. So I wouldn't want to see us trade back to it. So now, right in this position, it's like it's literally resting right at a low. We can easily suit that, come and take that, but at the same time, I'm just gonna continue to manage my risk as we're getting closer to the, this draw on liquidity, and I'm gonna have my risk tighten here. So about $140 now, and we're just waiting for that to get met. As soon as it gets met, 2 is coming off, and that'll be it. So there's that order met right there, and you know, half came off there. $60 stop loss, and we're just letting the runners do its work up into buy side. I could target external. I could target here. Once that gets met, you're not really in a position to just like worry. Simply just watching. But nothing really is stopping us from getting higher. We're not really in a PD array up there either. So it's kind of one of those things where you're just watching and you're seeking that external draw to get met. So we're about $100 away from TP. Not that anything matters. We're simply just watching. I'm not break even because it's a $60 stop loss, but we'll be break even here. Could even trail it to the 1 minute that's gonna open up, but just gonna put it at this low right here. I am getting ready to close though, just based upon how price looks, what we do. Kind of just want to see legs up in this point in time. Nothing's holding us, nothing's in our way. We are in a 30-minute, so look, we're in a 30-minute with buy side resting right there. We're just gonna close. If it runs, it runs. There's a clean long. So we're up 200 on the day, resulting in those losses. But at the same time, sometimes that is what it takes. Sometimes you will lose along your trading, and but this was the long, super clean. Was confident in this long. Very pleased with the trading today. Closed off early just based upon what happened and where we're at. I know we're in a higher time frame. Excuse me, fair value gap. So if we want to run, we'll continue to run. But about $100 away from TP. I'm not gonna sit there and fight myself and fight emotions over that happening. So like I said, if it goes, it goes. It's something to just journal, and watch. We were in consequent encroachment of this crazy 1 hour wick as well, but beautiful trade. At the end of the day, that just results into a beautiful trade, something to journal, and just note for later. That was the trade. So I'm just gonna do that, but that's gonna wrap it up for now. We will be back tomorrow. Come a lot sharper, more patient, waiting, and just like I said, trying to seek consistency and find it in trading for real. At the end of the day, that's gonna wrap it up. I appreciate everyone for watching. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.